I tell you what, I'll sit here and wait.
I wanted to try to start us on time. So that is what my goal today is, to start us on time. All right, where are my?
Well, I'm lucky I
Yes.
put the password down to get in the group.
Yeah, yeah. We're that's one of the things we're going to be discussing today is being able to get into groups off of Facebook. Um, yeah.
So you're going to explain to us what's going on with Facebook? I haven't been keeping up with it. I don't know what they're doing.
I wanted to try to start us on time. Man, come on, computer. Today is to start us on time. Y'all can hear my computer's talking to me because that's our delay for
Well, I'm lucky I put the password down to get in the group.
there we go. We had a little bit of feedback happening. Okay. So all you gentlemen are familiar with how our meetings work. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to recap it for anybody who may be watching, because I see we do have a viewer on YouTube um, already. As soon as we went live, it we've got somebody who's evidently just watching our page. So welcome. We appreciate you joining us this Saturday afternoon. I know there's the weather's finally starting to cooperate with everybody that we'd like to be outside doing stuff, and then we've got we got a tropical storm beta out in the Gulf that's going to be hitting the Texas Gulf Coast. Thought I saw Monday or Tuesday now. It's slowed down.
I think it's Monday.
It's Monday now. Yeah. Originally, I thought it was supposed to happen on Saturday evening, and they kind of keep moving the times out, which is typical for here, for anybody who's not in a hurricane zone. I used to live in Corpus Christi for 21 years. Hey, I'm legal to drink in Corpus based on the number of years I lived there. So I know my kids have already touched base with me. Alexander is our lieutenant of search and rescue. He is working life right now and in school, and they're starting to batten down the hatches. Chris, yeah, rawr, it's Shark Like a Pirate Day. All right, mate. That's what I was gonna do. I was gonna try to find my pirate hat and wear that today. Christopher Michaels already messaged me that University of Houston has already given them full instructions on what to do and where they need to be, and that yes, they are safe to stay in their dorms. He is up on the 7th floor, so even if they get a lot of heavy flooding, he shouldn't be impacted. He said they got really nice roll down shutters that they just, he just pushes a button. That's kind of how he discovered that he needed maintenance to come into their room. Is he has a fascination with buttons. If there's a button, he's got to push it. He's been that way since a toddler, so it's quite challenging sometimes to go to the stores with a full-grown man child that's 6'6", and he's going around pushing all the buttons in the toy area. Or favorite place was the doorbells in the Home Depot. But yeah, they're both ready, so I'm trying to keep my anxiety down about them. I am gonna.
There's Mr. Robert.
Yeah. Hi, Robert.
Robert. Hey.
I'm gonna.
I forgot how this works.
Oh yeah. I'm probably not gonna do the whole 15 minutes today because I have a bunch of meetings today. At 5 o'clock, we've got the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild out at the Shindig that I need to be able to go live from and do a Zoom meeting. And then at 6 o'clock, we have our Ren Fair Event Planning Committee. That is shaping up to be a lot of fun. I'll go into more details when we get to that page. We attempt to stay on topic. I do have time for questions and answers at the end before we breakaway to anybody who's not a Starfleet member, and we turn off our live feed to YouTube. That's just because it's not that we're trying to hide anything. It's just that sometimes we need to talk about things that we really don't want people to hear, because it's the inner workings of the chapter. If anyone indicates during the meeting and I think everyone's here Starfleet Command members, but if we have somebody else join us off of our page or site on Facebook, if they are expressing an interest that they do want to join us, then depending on what I have on my agenda for the day, I may allow them or not. Today, it's probably not going to be no big deal if we have visitors on mute during the Starfleet Command member portion and Guilds of Requiem. So that's the two requirements when you join Starfleet Command. Where's my camera? When you join Starfleet Command, you automatically join Guilds of Requiem network, and that we try not to overwhelm people with, and we try to work a little bit at a time. And Robert, I am going to ask you to turn your video off, please. That's giving me some vertigo.
Sorry.
Keep moving around. Thank you, dear. We do have a chat function to ask a question that's not relevant to current discussions. While I have my big screen up and doing the slideshow, I really can't see them. So if somebody else can kind of monitor our chats, the chat function, and let me know if there's been a question, I greatly appreciate it. I am trying to, yep, there it goes. It's opening up. It's got our other meeting up. We do not follow a set protocol. No Murphy's rules of engagement, I think that's called. There's another one. I'm losing words this week. But basically, we just ask everyone to be polite. We have no set protocol. Ranks and titles are appropriate if you forget the person's name versus a formality. Zoom is kind enough to let us see everybody's name, so that shouldn't be a big deal. And we ask that you be mindful, members, we ask that you be mindful of guests and that this is live on social media platforms. It's, yeah, I've got it on YouTube and I've already dropped a link into Facebook. Hopefully it went. I'm having a technical cognitive issue day, so please bear with me. Our meeting agenda for today is we're going to recap what happened since we last talked. We're going to recap departments and duties. That's always the first question I get is, oh, I'm joining Starfleet. What department am I going to be in? And Michael, I do need confirmation from you which department you want to be in. They just told me that you're joining the chapter, and
All right.
they didn't tell me which department you'd signed up on. But we can go through this and we can always adjust it with membership processing after that. We are going to recap UFO Minicon. We've got upcoming events to talk about. We are probably going to spend a lot of time on the upcoming events and communicating off mainstream social media platforms. And we'll discuss earning rank and promotion points again, which is always fun. And then we'll have our Q&A, and then we'll break out for our closed session for Starfleet Command and Guild of Requiem's members only. If I speak too fast or I start to slur, please let me know. How's everybody doing? We got a thumbs up from Michael.
I'm doing all right so far.
Robert's doing, Jeff's doing, I'm hanging in there. I had a very rough week. I was given a lot of bad news on Wednesday. I did not handle it very well. And whenever I have acute stress or anxiety, it causes flare-ups of syncope episodes and seizures. The count while I was in the ER was 29 seizures.
Oh.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
So they.
Just when I thought I had it rough.
Yeah, so they are the Dr. Black is amazing at Bernie ER. He got me the name of a neurologist that specializes in non-epileptic seizures and will take self-pay. So that has been kind of with Matt having lost his job at UTSA. His new job doesn't provide benefits, and I'm in disability limbo right now. So that was you know, he said that this doctor's office does a sliding scale fee on their own already for people with no insurance. So that was.
Robin, tell me again why you're in limbo.
My first submission to disability was declined. They failed to consider my seizures in their first one. So yeah, with COVID, we had a lot of delays on being able to get the last 2 doctor visits with their specialists that I needed. And then when they looked through everything, nobody considered that I had seizures. It was in there. It's in my medical record.
And that's not considered a disability?
Well, they didn't consider it. They evidently it wasn't made a forefront. The big forefront that they were seeing was the syncope episodes, the passing out, and the cognitive issues, and basically the pure physical limitations that I have. And they felt that there is a job somewhere out there that I can still do with my current physical limitations.
Really?
That's bunk.
Yeah, we had a lot of words. I do have an attorney that is working on it. They've already pulled everything that Social Security Administration reviewed and what they based their decision on. And that was the first thing that they saw, is that there was no discussion of my seizures. There was no mention at all of the mast cell activation episode, the multiple chemical sensitivity. When I went and saw their doctor, my friend who took me, her daughter had a poopy diaper, and when she took the baby outside, the receptionist started deodorizing the place with Lysol, and that set off my lungs and a flare up. And I ended up in the ER that day afterwards, because I was still having problems breathing and my blood oxygen kept dropping. That was not mentioned in there at all.
So being a veteran doesn't mean diddly?
I was 2 days shy of 180 days, and the military and I had a disagreement with my problem with alcohol. And so my options were to finish out my time in Fort Leavenworth or take a general discharge. So I do not qualify for veterans benefits.
Oh man.
I mean, literally, day 178 is when we decided that I was going to be out at 9 a.m. and by 5 p.m. I was discharged.
Wow.
And on a bus to South Dakota. That's how quickly it moved. Because if they would have waited their normal time, I would have hit 180 days and I would have qualified for benefits.
I don't understand why you're not getting disability. I don't.
Yeah, the attorney we talked to. Yeah.
I was approved in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're dealing with I think you're dealing with diabetes and some other things, and so that's, evidently they see that
I'm
as
dealing with a lot.
Yeah, you're dealing with a lot too. So they probably, with you being a veteran, they probably looked at your whole picture. With me not being a veteran, and I hate to say it, being a woman.
Yeah, my primary care physician at VA submitted all my paperwork for me.
Veterans do get priority in processing with the Social Security Administration.
I did not know that.
That was one thing that Trump and Obama both did, is they will fast track veterans on disability.
Well, you're in my thoughts.
I appreciate it.
Mine too.
We're working on it. The attorney and my doctors are all like, well, they auto decline a lot of people on the first time, so go ahead and appeal it. I guess it's like some sort of check on how desperate are you for their help. And it's like, okay, I waited 4 years to even apply for disability.
Well,
I had to believe myself. I didn't want to believe that I was disabled myself. That's kind of the biggest thing.
Well, that's where a lot of my mental stuff comes from, is trying to accept the disability.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Wednesday, I really would have liked to have grabbed an overnight bag, thrown it in my van, and start driving to St. Louis. I have a lot of friends up there who are hurting really, really bad now, and everyone is very confused. Everyone is very shocked. One of my police officer friends, they initially thought it was a homicide-suicide. They found him, his wife, his daughter, and his 3 grandchildren all dead in his house.
Oh, wow.
And then the things that they're telling me that he was doing in a role of leadership, really, I think that's breaking my heart more than anything.
So was it murder-suicide?
No, the ballistics and forensics is not matching up. The forensics and the ballistics are not matching up. They've now ruled it completely a homicide. The biggest thing being is that he was shot with a rifle gun. The rifle was on the floor by him, but it was okay. I don't know about you, but my arms are not long enough to have a rifle in my mouth and to pull a trigger. His arms aren't long enough either. So yeah, once they confirmed the caliber of bullet that went through his brain. I'm sorry for anybody who I'll go back onto YouTube and I'll either edit this part out or put a warning.
We're getting a little private now.
Yeah, we're getting a little private. So that's about as much as I'm going to say is that the forensics are not matching up.
Okay.
So they are definitely calling it a homicide, and they are trying to keep it out of the details out of the press.
Okay, next subject.
Yep, next subject. So, previous meeting, we always go over what is Space Station Requiem, who we are, our history in Texas, our history in the Star Trek world, our structure, why we have chosen Starfleet Command. Space Station Requiem is a science fiction fan club. We were originally founded in 2013 down in, actually, happy anniversary to us, if I remember correctly. This is the day we submitted all of our paperwork to Starfleet Command for our original commissioning. Our original commissioning date is November 17th. Was when we had our little party to celebrate being officially commissioned. But yeah, September is when we submitted all of our paperwork.
Can I interrupt?
Uh-huh.
Can you send me all that?
I can see if I can find it. My ex got all the paperwork, and somewhere between the divorce and the multiple moves with me and the divorce.
So do I get a hold of Cleve and have him send it?
He doesn't have it. He can't find it because we had a bunch of original artwork that a member had done for us. We also had a storyline that was going that was basically a group brainstorm writing. We basically role played scenarios, and
you know why I wanted.
Yeah.
You do know why I wanted.
You're my historian in communications.
Yeah, I want to add that. So
yeah.
I'll paraphrase it, but I'd like to see it so it can be paraphrased.
Yeah, I can type it all up for you. It's going to go, yeah, because we're also going to need that for the website. So that discussion's coming up too when we go to closed session. So yeah, any type of information that you need from me for the website, we'll make a little note, do a little bullet point somewhere, and send me an email to remind me, because I know I'm not going to get to it today, and I might forget tomorrow because I already.
Well, I have to make notes so I know to send it.
Yeah, get out a pen and paper and pencil and paper and start typing me notes on what you need for me to complete the website. Our history in the Star Trek world. If anybody's been reading my little captain's logs of the day of hell that never ends, or I think I called it the day that never ends. We are officially in the year 2399. We are in an alternate universe, which allows us to step away from Star Trek canon. It makes writing a whole lot easier versus trying to have to go cherry pick events to work into persona and everything else and into the writing. So that was a decision that was kind of made when we started bringing in some other other clubs into the storyline. Is, how are we going to make this? So if anybody sees that I refer to us as the United Federation of Planets in my writings, please let me know. We're actually the United Confederation of Planets.
Say again.
United Confederation of Planets. It's UCP.
Got it.
Okay. Our structure is paramilitary. We do have departments. Eventually we will, as we grow bigger, We will have department heads that will help with the different tasks that are involved with running any sort of nonprofit organization. And the biggest question people ask me is, why Starfleet Command? Why not Starfleet International? Why not Section 31? Why not, man, there's like, I found 20 different Star Trek related fan clubs out there. Some of them are brand new. Some of them, when I looked at who started them, they're definitely grudge organizations, because they had a falling out with either Starfleet International or Starfleet Command, and so they said, fine, I'm going to take my toys and go play somewhere else. And sometimes there's nothing wrong with that.
Fall out with them.
Yeah, and sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of how Space Station Requiem got started. Is we had a falling out with the Starfleet International chapter in Corpus Christi. Starfleet Command also gives us, not just me, us, a lot of freedom in how we run our chapter. As long as our SPAR reporting is in every month and we're not breaking any laws and we're not making the organization look bad. That's pretty much their requirements. Frequently we're asked, why should I join Space Station Requiem? We have two options for Space Station Requiem. We have our public group where you can just basically be there and hang out with other like-minded individuals that love to post funny memes to get us laughing, get us thinking. They can be any fandom. If you decide to join Starfleet Command, the cost of it is basically foregoing going out to eat one night, and that is your membership fee for the year. Or you can do like several people are doing and save your pennies up and buy a lifetime membership. So you do your membership once, that's it, you're done. You will forever be a member in Starfleet International, not Starfleet Command, hello. I'm getting everything all confused today. But you'll be a forever member in Starfleet Command. The biggest bonus for us in having people join Starfleet Command is it shows us that a person is committed to wanting to do more in the club besides just be on the roster, just to be there. So we add in the bonus that we will help work them or integrate them into the Guilds of Requiem network, which is our secondary parent organization, as much as we can. And so for that, I ask people to please just go ahead and explore our website at www.guildsofrequiem.com. Since we just got notified by the state of Texas that we are considered a non-profit corporation with the state of Texas, we are having to make some changes to our website to reflect that. We're restructuring from a sole proprietorship to a non-profit or not-for-profit corporation in the state of Texas. My goal before I hand the reins over on the we have 7 major guilds, before I hand the reins completely over on those other guilds, including day-to-day operations of Guilds of Requiem, is I want us to be recognized as a 501 organization with the IRS. We do provide community services. I believe it's a 501c3. No, E3.
Sounds right.
Yeah, my goal is to have us recognized as a nonprofit with the IRS before the end of 2021, and that makes a huge difference in how we've been operating. We went from just a very small core group of myself, Matt, and Christopher Sanchez to, I think we've now got 20 people who are active. We still kind of got some wallflowers because they're still trying to figure out what we're about. So it's a complex organization that I've been dreaming about for 40 years. We do have several. Go ahead.
Stay with us till all this is complete, though, correct?
Yes. Once it is complete, then I'll go to the Scholars Guild. As per discussions in our charter for Space Station Requiem, we will not have our first election for commanding officer and executive officer until the chapter is 5 years old in its present lifespan. Reincarnation, that's it. So we officially started back up in October of last year. So I think we stayed kind of right on track to that November 1st commissioning and decommissioning and recommissioning date. And
So
I want
year one has already gone by.
We are almost done with year one. Yes. So I don't want to, when there's still so many things that need to be decided and so much growth that needs to happen, I don't want to put that onto someone else who may not be ready for it. Because a normal Starfleet commanding officer only needs to worry about their chapter. Someone who's commanding Space Station Requiem also needs to worry about Guilds of Requiem. So that's an awful, in my opinion, that's an awful lot to ask of somebody right away when we still have so many unanswered questions, so many procedures and things that we need to figure out still. And it's going to take time. You know, I really don't expect this to happen overnight. I'll go over the different departments here in a minute. My expectation of members is I ask you to be involved. If for some reason you can't be involved, you know, Jeff let me know, hey, I'm going to be out of commission for a while on medical leave. No problem. You know, we'll still pick up the slack. We'll keep going. Life definitely happens. Robert stepped up a couple times when I needed to take a week or so off to deal with life. So my biggest expectation of members is participation, and don't do anything that's going to make our chapter look bad. Because that really hurts the morale of the rest of the chapter, and it could potentially cause issues with any sort of recruitment that we do if, you know, someone's out there bad mouthing us or our parent organizations. And that goes for Starfleet Command, that goes for Starfleet International, and that goes for Guilds of Requiem. We're under the Gamers Guild, who's under the Resources Guild. So it's a lot of people that get affected if somebody starts bad mouthing us. So those are kind of my expectations. I try not to be a dictator. I know I have my grumpy days, and if I ever start putting too much on you, say, hey, I need to back off a little bit. I need you to explain this to me a little bit better, because we're all here as a team. I see us as a kind of like a board of directors. It's like an employee-run organization. I'm just here to make sure the paperwork gets done on time. That's kind of how I view my position. That could be the right way, that could be the wrong way, but it's working at the moment.
I was gonna say, you don't want to fix a wheel that's already turning.
Exactly. So our different departments, we have Command, who's myself and Robin Kearney Fraser, also known as Anna Tor in the logs, the captain logs. I do have a full backstory to my persona, and having a persona is really fun in that it allows you to either express anger, grief, or frustration over an everyday situation that you normally wouldn't be safe to feel safe. But it also allows you to be someone different. Me myself, people laugh at me when I say this, I'm actually an introvert. If I had my way, I just kind of would stay in the background and not be in the lead. But everyone seems, everyone's like, "Oh, you're such a great leader."
Yep.
So that's when Roshana Till is my pen name, and Anna Tor is my persona. When I am those two women, or actually those two people, because Roshana is currently taking on a male persona on social media, so I get left alone in my private messages.
Yes, I've noticed that.
It helps. I can tell myself, okay, I am no longer Robin Kearney. I'm no longer this person. I am Fleet Captain Anna Tor. I am Roshana Teo. I can just fully put myself into that persona, and it helps me break through Any anxiety I have about being up in front of people and speaking and performing and everything. So it's a good tool to have in your box, especially if you deal with social anxiety like I do. We also have Lieutenant Robert Hammock. He is our executive officer. So if I'm not available, he's your next in chain of command. Communications, our social media and website and graphics, we have Jeff Lester. Engineering, that is our general membership for anybody who's within 50 miles of Pipe Creek. That is basically someone saying, you know what, I really don't know what I want to do. Michael, this is where I currently have you as in engineering. Until you tell me differently, give you time to explore everything. These are the people like, I want to belong, but I just don't know what I want to do. So a space station takes a lot of especially one that is big as we are in fiction world, takes a lot of engineers to maintain and run. So we decided that that's going to be an excellent place to have basically our general membership, because Starfleet Command does not allow for a general membership. Marines, they work hand in hand with our Gamers Guild. They do event and activity coordination. So Robert, that's kind of something for you to keep your eye on. I kind of based that on both yours and mine background in marketing and business management and everything else, to put the Marines having that function. I borrowed a chapter from USS Joan of Arc and some other chapters on our medical and science departments having to deal with charity and community resources. Medical is our local, that's anybody 50 miles within Pipe Creek. Science is anyone who's beyond 50 miles. And they will focus on anything that is like a national fundraiser, a national organization. They're the ones who are going to be aware of what resources does Starfleet Command offer their members. I've had somebody reach out to me already that was getting evicted, and they're in a completely different city from me, but because I have friends all over the place, I was able to go in and post, hey, I've got a friend outside of Mikey. I was able to go in and post, and they now were able to get moved out of a place and into a brand new place. So it's kind of what community resources are. Is we're here to help our members, whether they live with us or whether they live on the other side of the planet. Search and rescue, that is our general membership for anyone who is further than 50 miles of Pipe Creek. That's basically, I don't know what department I want to be in. Okay, well, you're going to be in search and rescue because we have to search for you and possibly rescue you to bring you back to the space station. That was kind of the stupid logic one night after I'd had a little bit too much Romulan ale.
Actually, that makes sense.
Yeah, because they're the ones that go out to the, in our storyline, search and rescue is the one who goes out to the rift to rescue people. So they're not on the space station. Most of their job is done somewhere else. It's not done on the space station. So our final department is security. This is member services. This is somebody that needs to be very, very, very familiar with Starfleet Command, and we will help them become very familiar with Guilds of Requiem and all the networking services that is offered through there. And I also added the additional task of tracking promotion points to them. Other chapters that I've been in, usually the department head tracks everybody in their department, but because we're still new-ish and we're still growing and we're still figuring things out, we don't have department heads for every single department. We're all kind of running around changing our hat whenever it needs to be. I feel like sometimes getting one of those old hats with a little brim and they stick the press badge up in it. I feel like getting one so that I can have every single thing that I'm doing in a day. I gave everyone a big, huge chuckle in one of my other groups. I literally had a box of hats. I had found a bunch of baseball caps for $1 each at a resale shop, brought them home, washed them, used permanent marker and paint pens, fabric pens, and I wrote all the different things that I did on it. And so whenever they would come up to me at my desk, I'd change my hat based on what they were asking me to do.
How funny.
it helps me. Being crazy helps me get through the day. It keeps me, acting crazy, doing silly things like that, actually helps maintain my sanity. I always tell people, and the ER will confirm this, that if Robin's not joking, there's an issue. Wednesday, I wasn't joking. They tried making a joke, and they're like, okay, this is serious, so we're gonna look at it seriously.
Well, with your latest mishap, I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm still dealing with a lot of sinus swelling and stuff, and having to ice it, but it's a fact of life that I have to deal with. That's never going to go away. So UFO Minicon, who remembered to actually take pictures?
I regret to admit that I didn't.
Neither did I. We've got the opening ceremony video.
Oh, that's good.
Courtesy
Well,
of Serafina.
Well, we got something.
So if you happen to come across somebody who was at UFO Minicon 2020, ask them, hey, did you take some pictures? And can you email them to us? It's spacestationrequiem@gmail.com. I don't break a lot of brain vessels and brain cells out when I create my emails. I make them direct and to the point to say who they are and what's happening.
Yeah, I was a little bit more out of it than I expected that day.
It was hot. That's yeah, that's one of the things that did not go well.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
You said pictures, who has them, and we're talking about the Minicon.
Yes. People
right.
who attended the UFO Minicon.
I'm going to talk about everything. So anytime pictures are taken for the space station anywhere, can they email them to our email site? That way I can download them.
Yeah, you can actually put a little blurb and a hot link on the Space Station Requiem page on the website, saying if you attended one of our events and took some pictures, we'd love to have them. And be sure that when we post them up, be sure to give the person credit.
I'll do that.
So yeah, that's one of the sub pages I think I have on there is events in an event gallery.
Yes.
I haven't looked at the list, the master list yet of how I envisioned our menu and sub menus going. So it's been a while. Michael, recent sightings. Since we're talking UFOs, did you hear about what happened to the one that was over the lake back in June? The video was up for a while and now it's gone.
I'm not sure. I have my cases I'm working on, which are out in the west part of Texas.
Okay.
And there have been a few sightings in the area. I'm trying to think where the last one was. I think it was out toward Houston.
Yeah.
Was the last one. But Texas, I think this month is the third most frequent UFO sightings for the states. California in the lead, and I think Pennsylvania was number 2. We came in number 3.
Wow.
They're out there. We that was the biggest thing that people wanted to come talk to us about, was they wanted to see MUFON. They did come see our vendors, so that went well. And I saw that you guys had a regular, pretty decent sized crowd underneath the tree.
What was total people that showed up for the Minicon?
I would say throughout the day we had between 50 and 100.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, between 2 and 4 it was like mega hot that everyone just started to fizzle out really bad. So that is one thing that definitely did not go very well. We will not do a convention again, especially since all the venues that I have access to are outdoors. Maybe in the future, one of our goals for Guilds of Requiem is to have a permanent marketplace building with retail shopping on the main floor, plus areas, a nice walking path for vendors to do a pop-up market on the weekends. The second floor will be dedicated to classrooms and a meeting space or an event venue space. And we will have a kitchen up there too. So if somebody wants to rent out a kitchen so that they can manufacture above and beyond the cottage food laws, then that's kind of our full goal. We'll also have a greenhouse that's aquaponics to make sure that we have our own supply of produce, plus the community shared agricultural CSA of anybody who has excess produce that would like us to sell them on their behalf. So maybe when we have that and it gives us a second floor and it gives us an area with a bunch of trees that stays cooler, maybe we can look at an August date again, but June, July, August date. But as of right now, I'm going to say no. We're not going to have any outdoor conventions during those 3 months ever again. So yeah, that's what didn't go so well. What went well was we had a lot of people show up. We had almost all of our vendors showed up. We had two vendors that were no call, no show. We really didn't have any other events in Bandera that we were competing with, which isn't unusual, but I think that had to do with it being a fifth Saturday. So that might be something we want to keep in mind planning next year, that very few places have anything scheduled for fifth Saturdays when it happens in a month. I've already been talking with Sundown's page about next year, the Area 51 Food Truck Plaza being the host of UFO Minicon. And the reason that is that we had multiple requests to name our convention out here Bantuckycon. Because and that way they everyone kind of felt that would leave it more open to people beyond just UFO enthusiasts to attend. That leaves it more open up for cosplaying and for anime, for science fiction, for movies, for fiction movies, action movies, whatever. It becomes a little bit more. It becomes more generic and less specified. So we are doing a little bit of tongue-in-cheek on next year's event theme, because who in every single apocalyptic movie are the ones that survive?
The hillbilly types.
The hillbillies and the rednecks. So we're going to poke a little bit of fun at the rednecks shall inherit the earth for next year. We can go ahead and start generating ideals and activities, who we'd like to see if we can bring out as guests. See what we can try to make happen. We put it in October of next year. I'm leaning towards a second Saturday, a second or a fourth Saturday. And I'm actually leaning more towards the second Saturday because that looks to be about when we're going to actually move our marketplace to. We're finding a lot of stiff competition to keep vendors on first and third Saturdays. So the marketplace itself will be moving to the second Saturday. So kind of like how we have themed events already for the marketplace, we'll just make the October one be Bantuckycon, and we'll integrate it in with the Rocky Horror Picture Showcase.
You said the second Saturday?
That's what I'm thinking, the second Saturday of October next year.
Okay.
That's where I'm leaning right now. I have absolutely no date in mind for the UFO Minicon next year, other than not June, July, or August. Ren Fair next year is the first weekend of May. So we could go any other time than that, but I figured moving it into San Antonio is going to give us one more attendance. Because we're actually there in the city, as long as the city's not closed, and we're still not dealing with this stuff. I think we would have a really good showing. So I don't want to set any dates in stone until I've got to get through December 19th. my stress and anxiety level on all the upcoming events that we have, it's just too much for me to be thinking about what's going to happen next year yet. So I do not want, and we traditionally take the month of January off from all events in the marketplace. So I want to use, we'll revisit dates in January when we can sit down and talk with whatever venue that we're at, on what dates work for them, so we can get on the calendar and then we can start promoting it out. Does anybody else have any thoughts on a Saturday that would work better for BanTuckyCon in October next year? Or does my logic sound?
It does sound, but I mean, since we normally have our meetings on the third Saturday of the month anyway, why not see if we can do it then?
That's a possibility too. Keep our events onto our third Saturday. So yeah, we'll drop, if somebody drop me a reminder somewhere that we're going to try to keep our events on the third Saturday. I mean, unless the third Saturday isn't working for people and showing up for the meetings, I want to always try. I always want our meeting to be on the internet, because we have all of Texas as our territory.
I agree.
Technically, we have Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, New Mexico. But they smacked my hand and said, no, I can only have Texas to be Empress of. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep that in mind then. Events, since we're talking about, brought up, the meetings are third Saturday of every month. They are online. We do meet up at the Shindig at 5 p.m. in the evening for kind of like an after meeting, but that is when we have our Homesteaders and Preppers Guild meeting. So that is very, hopefully let me do this. Yeah. So that kind of helps, gives us a little extra time that, hey, if I miss the meeting at 1 o'clock online, I can go to the 5 o'clock one, because, the topics will be different. It won't be Star Trek or science fiction or anything else. We're talking about ship's business. I want to try to leave our meetings so that it's basically talking about us, talking about the chapter, talking about what we do, what we're getting ready to do, and leave our general chit-chatting for the groups. Coming up Thanksgiving weekend is Ren Fair Bandera County. I will be doing promotion points again if you're volunteering out there. We are going to try to be a little bit more cautious on how many hours people are volunteering without a break. We do give volunteers a food card, which is good at select vendors, and they'll have a banner in front of them, the Guilds of Requiem banner in front of them, so you know which vendor will accept the food card. And it was determined that for every 5 hours of volunteer work, we will get you a meal. And that starts on November 27th with our Black Friday market, which is our third year now, where basically pirates invade Bandera County. And there's the deals, BanTuckyCon 2021. Next topic, getting off of social media. For those who have followed me on my timeline, I ended up in Facebook jail a lot.
I saw that. Jailbird.
Yeah. And all I was doing was saying that, women can be just as nasty as men on private messaging. And
Didn't your husband wouldn't?
Oh, well, he deserved his. He deserved his Facebook jail time. I saw what he posted as soon as he hit enter, and it was at this point we're fairly certain that it was the AI and not him being reported that got him thrown into Facebook jail for 24 hours. Everyone was pretty upset at that woman telling me to quit my bitching and get a life.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And what he had to say to her was pretty graphic on what she could do to herself and what kind of a person she was.
What better way to make it a family affair?
Yeah, both of us. This is why Wicket has his own profile, which is verified with Facebook. Because when I worked at UTSA, Wicket had his own ID, and the state of I got him one of those pet tag IDs with his name on it, and they accepted that as Wicket being a legitimate person for him to have his own profile.
A dog having its own profile. That's just wow.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? That I was able to provide enough documentation. I provided his vet record and everything else to them. And they said, okay. I'm like, okay.
Speak of the devils.
Someone's home. Someone came in through the gate.
Sounds like Matt.
Yep, Matt's home. And then Rashana Tael is a legally recognized alias for me. So her profile is also its profile is already verified with Facebook as well. So I'll miss my 2,000 friends if I get shut down, because I was notified that I am on my last community standards violation. Should I violate community standards again, they will delete my profile and all pages and groups that I own.
Uh-oh.
So I have been trying not to stir the pot, because for those who are in all of the groups or has seen all of the groups, as an admin,
that's a lot of work to lose.
that is 3 years of work. That is 3 years of building a presence on Facebook. And a lot, and we're not done. I mean, I had to wait. I was waiting for us to go nonprofit to put everything else on there. And so now I'm kind of hesitant. So we are switching our focus, guys, to directing people to our website. Because the more people are on our website, the more they're going to see our products that we sell to fund Guilds of Requiem. And we've got consignment vendors on there now. So as much as we can to push people to our website, the better we're going to be. The more hits our website gets, the higher we're going to show up in Google ratings. Our SEOs and everything else, that all affects on how we're showing up. So that's going to be our challenge. No, I've got 3 people in here.
Don't change the screen, because I'm writing some of this down.
I'm going to put the PowerPoint into the group when we're done.
Okay.
Because we can upload. We can upload PowerPoints into groups. We cannot put them on our pages or anything, but this will go into the group. For those who also haven't been paying attention to the media, starting on Monday, TikTok is officially banned in the United States.
Wait,
I knew there was talk. I didn't know that was a.
Yeah, no, it's not that they've been bought. They've been banned. TikTok has been banned.
I thought Microsoft buying them had made it so they could.
No, Oracle bought them.
Oracle bought them, but they're still currently going to be banned and not support USA usage.
Oh, okay, so.
Yeah, from my understanding, the official reasoning on why TikTok is being banned in the United States is that pedophiles are using it to prey on minors.
Oh my.
And I have to remind people that the app itself is not bad. It's the people using it. Just like cars, drivers don't, cars may kill people, but there was a driver behind the wheel.
Yep.
And it takes somebody to pull the trigger on a gun. Yep. That's how I'm viewing a lot of this stuff on social media. Is, you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You just got to find new ways to protect your children. That's my big thing is, parental responsibility. So
Absolutely.
I've already had a couple of minors ask if they could join Space Station Requiem. One was 14, one was 16. I told them no, their parents have to join with them. Also, I don't think Starfleet will let them have a membership at that age. I may
I
have to
think
ask
you're
that.
right.
I think I may have to ask that. I think if a minor tries to join a parent, they have to join as a family with a parent.
I
Yeah.
think you're right. If you want me to, I can check that out for you.
Yeah, go ahead and double check that, because
Well,
that's something that we're going to need to write into our charter. Is that if you are a minor, then a parent must join with you.
Well, even if not, we can still put it in the charter because we had talked about that. And
Yeah.
I think that's in the.
Yeah,
I may be wrong, and please correct me if I am, but I think that's in the charter already.
I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've reviewed it.
I think it's just a good idea. At least a parental permission slip if you're 16 or older.
Yeah, I think at 16 or 17, we'd have to have a parental permission slip that they understand that their child is joining a science fiction fan club, who we are and what we do. But I think, yeah, and I think 16 is also the youngest age that will allow somebody to be a department head.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So we'll have to double. I'll let you fine tooth comb that, Robert. I'm dealing with massive dyslexia. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not even reading the screen because I actually have double vision still.
Ew.
I just know this stuff is all, and I typed it so that everyone else can see it. So what does this mean for us? You know, that means we need to push our website, push our website, push our website, push our website. We do have.
I've been trying to do that.
Yeah, I've been seeing that, and I appreciate y'all guys doing that. We need to make sure that we're telling people why to visit our website. What's so cool about us? You know, we can give direct links to our page, and I noticed the other day that we have last year's Yule celebration and Christmas party for the chapter still up on the Space Station Requiem page. So when you're starting to feel better, Jeff, that's kind of where I just need you to focus on Space Station Requiem. Janet and Mikey and myself have been kind of working on other things. With the big UFO minicon, we've been getting a lot of hits onto that page.
Absolutely.
We do have a discussion group under the groups for Guilds of Requiem. So should our public groups go away on Facebook, well, then that's where everyone can find us. I highly recommend that you use Chrome or download the Wix app for mobile devices to be able to use the groups. They have a long time compatibility issue with Edge. I noticed that since Edge is now it's like Edge by Chromium is the new release that I got dinged up on my computer last night. And it now operates and acts a lot like Chrome, but I'm still having group access issues off of the Wix websites with Edge. Chrome consistently works for me. I always recommend people to save themselves a little bit of frustration and just use your Gmail account, your Google account to join our page. Yes, they are everywhere. They permeate everything, but they do have a really good security and safety policy. So for those who haven't joined the group yet, I'm going to come over here. I think I still have that cloud meeting control space station PowerPoint. I think, oops, let's go to this one. There's my Chrome. Okay. So we all get to see a little picture in picture here because my entire screen is being shared. And so glad I didn't have anything that was embarrassing on my search history. So you can see that we've Janet's gone in. She's kind of streamlined us a little bit. I'm not quite sure why we got changed to pink, but I think I'm okay with the pink versus the green bars that we come to community activities. Anybody who wants to blog and is looking for a blog space as members of Space Station Requiem, you're also a member of Guilds of Requiem. So you are welcome to create a blog on there. We do have learning forums as well. Those will be more reserved for, I want to teach someone something. I need to update those forums because we have some that are out of date, and we have been so focused on making Facebook happen that our website got neglected for a while. But groups is the place to go. I don't know if you can kind of see it up here where my mouse is. There's a login up there. All you have to do is log in one time and it lets you into the entire website. So you can see I just clicked with Google. I've been trying to get people to not use their Facebook login. We used to have requiemranch@gmail.com and it had its own profile on Facebook. And Facebook deleted that account and I darn near lost access to the website over it. So I highly recommend people use their Google. So these are the different groups that we currently have on there. It does not take that much for me to have a new group. As you can see, I'm already in all the groups because I'm the owner. The best way to join a group is to click on the group's title. Go in and view the group, and then there's going to be a join button on that group. That is by far the easiest way. Where it says joined here, that button will say join. That is by far the easiest way to join our groups on our website. Anybody who is an admin or a moderator on our Facebook groups will also be an admin or a moderator on the website. That is one of my tasks that I have for me next week, is to make sure that everybody, we don't lose anybody. We've already got Janet in here. We have already got Mikey in here. We've got we got this really vulgar little dude, and he's got a really horrible mouth. Yes, that's a joke, everybody.
I got it.
Yeah, because all he says is "I am Groot," and then everybody responds to what "Oh my God, you little pervert! Teenager, quit sassing me. Don't argue with me." So, whenever
Now, Robin, I know you put me in a lot of groups.
I think I put you in a lot of groups on Facebook, and those were so that you have an idea of what's happening in our groups, to be able to understand the website and how complex we are.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I get tons of messages, and I do know that you've added me to a lot.
Yeah, you are welcome to go in and turn the notifications off on those groups so that you can just go and check on the groups at your leisure.
Oh no, I don't mind it.
Yeah. I had to do that because if all 498 groups that I'm in were to send me notifications all the time, I'd be getting a lot of notifications all the time.
Yeah.
I've got one group that has almost 700 posts a day.
Cheese and rice.
There are 62 of us on the admin moderator squad, on the mod squad for that group. And it's got darn near, I think they're pushing 100,000 members.
Holy cow.
So
Hey, gunga munga.
it is a very coordinated effort. And 1 week out of the year, you guys will see me completely, totally stress the hell out, because that is the week that I am the lead moderator. They put me in January, so that I was in the group long enough that I could tell them which week I wanted for my week. But we all do come in and help, so even if it's not our week, we're still in there moderating.
And where is that?
That's on Facebook. That's one of my groups on Facebook that I'm a part of in regards to religions.
I think I belong to that.
Yeah, you're getting like 700 it's not the world super group.
Yeah.
We're pushing 2,000 members on there, and that's actually run by Haven of the Dragon, which is our sister organization. That's my World Religions Education Group organization, which is nonprofit. We're converting. Yeah, we got to do some refiling of our paperwork on that, because we're going to be purely educational, and we've decided that, okay, I've decided, after they demanded that I have a curriculum to them every year. that I'm going to go back to religious. We're going to convert it to a religious organization with education being a secondary on Haven of the Dragon.
Once all this is over, I'll get on the Guilds of Requiem and I'll join a couple of these,
Mm-hmm.
and you can add me as an admin on Space Station if you want to.
Yeah, Space Station Requiem is going to be myself, Robert, and you, because you maintain the website, help maintain the website, Jeff. Michael, it's completely up to you if you want me to add you as a moderator or not. You haven't taken any officers positions or OTS or anything, so I don't like to ask things of people who I know already have busy lives. And I know Mike gets really busy sometimes.
Okay.
So, and we'll talk more about actually moderating groups when we get to our private time. So join the group. Wow, I put that out of kind of out of context. The rank should have been right after departments. So for those who are brand new and have never watched any of our videos, our members do have the ability to earn rank. Just like any other organization, we like to thank our members and show our appreciation any way that we can. And because we are a Star Trek based chapter for Starfleet, we do promotion points. Promotion points are earned whenever you take an academy course, if you are helping run the chapter outside of command staff. Sorry, Robert, I got told I can't give you a bunch of points just for being an executive officer.
It's all good.
Yeah, but you do a lot of other stuff, so you're earning them the same way everybody else does in the chapter.
Well,
is promoting us on your social media accounts, volunteering and participating. That's how you rank. The difference between a non-commissioned officer and a commissioned officer, and flag officers. This is our little trifecta that I like to bring up. Non-commissioned officer is somebody that is basically saying, hey, yeah, I'm here, I'm enjoying myself, I want to kind of be involved. Rank really isn't important to me. I just like to have fun. And then we've got our commissioned officers. These are people who have said, you know what, man, I really believe in your organization and I want to help make it happen. I want to help it make it succeed. Maybe in the future I'll be the CEO. I can dream. So you go to the Starfleet Academy and you take the Officer Command College, Officer Command School. If you are you also take your specific department. And I believe they're starting to do some changes on that. So the next time I have somebody who says that they want to look at being more involved in being a commissioned officer, then we will all go over that again. And a flag officer is somebody who has decided they no longer have a life and that Starfleet Command is all that they are going to do with their life.
You're the one that came in.
That's how I got to my rank. I built my rank up in Starfleet International because I was the Cadet Corps Coordinator for Region 3, and I was the International Cadet Coordinator, and I ran a chapter.
You do know that Starfleet sent me my courses.
Yes.
good.
Yes. That's one thing that we will talk about in our private meeting on the courses. So how high can you promote within the chapter? I will only promote to a commander. Anything else beyond that, I am going to have Starfleet involved on the decision. Anything beyond that, actually, they say, no, we have to make the decision. Once you become a captain, fleet captain, and rear admiral, all the admiral ranks, that all goes through Starfleet Command, where I write a nice little letter saying this person has been at this rank for X amount of time, and they've been doing this, this, and this, and this, and they're highly involved. So that's who, that's how we want to get somebody beyond the rank of captain. How often can I get promoted? Starfleet says every 6 months. Promotions are not automatic. I do not, just because you're sitting there being ballast and not participating, but you've been here 6 months, I'm not going to automatically promote you. Rank is earned in our chapter. That's the only way I can put it to people, is if you see somebody in our chapter walking around in a Starfleet uniform that has got a commissioned officer or flag officer rank, I can tell you right now that person has earned that rank. I just feel that is fair. I have contemplated giving milestone, like, you know, you've been a member for a year, I'll give you a couple points, or maybe you've been a member for 5 years, or maybe you've been a member for 10 years, you know, however long we end up going. That is something we can discuss as senior staff. The senior staff and the chapter can discuss and vote on at a later time.
And senior staff would be you and Robert, correct?
Correct. Correct. Right now, that is our official senior staff is myself and Robert. None of the and Alexander. He is our other senior staff officer. We still need to kind of nail down promotion point values and how much they need to advance to the next rank. I may just put my brain to it one night, put it in there, and then throw it into the private group for everybody to approve. At this juncture, I'm done asking for public input on how our group should be run. We officially have, I believe, 14 or 15 members on the books that I believe we are diverse enough that we can all make decisions together and now leave future policy making up to those who have committed to being in Starfleet Command.
Speaking about the ranks, if I can interrupt real quick, I did have a question. I'm noticing there on the rank of fleet captain, there are 4 pips with a line through it, or with a line underneath them. I was under the impression that fleet captain was 5 pips.
It depends on which canon you are following. About 5 years ago, when the last Star Trek movie came out, I think is when the change was made. Because really, fleet captain is a misnomer, because a fleet captain is actually somebody who's in charge of a lot of different ships when you get into the military. And it's really only brought up in a couple of episodes that people are fleet captain. So we do recognize it. I wear it as 5 pips because I could never find the gold bar to put underneath them.
I think the enlisted ranks are different than what you told me.
Well, the enlisted rank, you gotta remember, we've got regular and we've got Marines.
Well, you have.
Let me back
you
up.
have crewmen. You have crewmen, then you have petty officer, and I was under the assumption that it was recruit specialists and petty officer.
No, that's just a graphic that I grabbed.
Oh, okay.
For this page, it's not our actual ones. It's just a graphic. You know, that's something we may want to do. Is maybe since we have we're kind of playing in our own universe all the way around. Maybe we want to establish how our own ranks look in this universe. That kind of gives us a lot of, you know, we don't want to be too far off of what everybody else does, because we still want the ranks to be recognizable. But yeah, that's something we have a lot of room to play in, because we have so many different eras. We do have one, Christopher Michael, my son, he plays strictly an original series. As you can tell, I have an original series shirt, tunic on. That's a variant of Captain Kirk's shirt. So we have a lot of room to play. I mean, we don't have to follow things letter for letter. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah. So we can create our own, you know, how things go on our own, man. So this is the end of the closed session. Is there any questions about what we've already presented? Otherwise, if not, I'm going to stop the live feed so that we can have our private one.
No, I don't have any questions.
I'm good.